choreography, kuna fashion. There's a lot when it comes to the world of art. But Leo, let's do things a little bit differently. Tuingia kwa mambo ya graphics and designing. Sijui kama kuna mtu pale anatutazama and you feel like, I just love graphics and design. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know a person that you can be looking at to. We got you covered, because this way we get to bring different artists, who started somewhere and now at least they're doing magic when it comes to the world of art and they have experiences. Me, one I want to, and I keep on repeating this. It's good to hear stories from different people, because when they put the challenge is same, but the way they navigate this challenge, it's a different way. At least itakupe clue. Utajikumbusha kwa sifa Saturn Meet Your Artist. There's a guest mwenye alikuwa na alisema alipitia challenge and akapata solution. Well, can I use the same tactic, or should I use a different tactic, or can this work for me? At least you get to have an idea and exposure, and ujue kama unaingia kwa the world of graphics and design, what are the challenges? What should I expect? Who should I meet out there? And without further ado, allow me to introduce our amazing guest. That is Fouleen. I thought Fouleen. Oh my goodness, he's called Fouleen. Fouleen, karibu ni sawa jina. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Kabisa.
I thank God.
We're so glad that umekuja leo kwa show yetu sasa.
Thank
And I know there are millions of people watching you out there.
Yeah.
And I would really want to hear from you. AI iko huku nje. Inawafanyiaje? How are you feeling about AI,
I think it is about mindset, because AI kitu ya kwanza, it is not coming to take the space of people's jobs, because many people wanasema AI inakuja ku take our jobs. No, it is only that it is coming to enhance our skills and also to help us produce better things.
I love your mentality. Wenyewe swingi kwa zile za AI imekuja inatuchukulia kazi, AI is coming kumaliza kazi zetu zote. So where will we go? Graphics and design kuna nyanya nasema kwenye, where will we go?
Actually,
why is so different? Are you in a different world?
It's because I also love AI, because I also use it. And so haijani replace me as a person. It hasn't replaced my skills, but it is just helping me to enhance those skills to do better work and to be more productive.
Hey, productivity. I love that. And let's get to know who is Fouleen,
Wow.
And we really want to know who is Fouleen and what do you do?
Fouleen is a graphic designer. I work with former studios. It is still a very young company, that it is still growing.
Is it your brand, Ama?
It is exactly my brand.
Oh, yeah. That is interesting. A young person with big vision.
Yeah, we have been in existence for only 3 years. Actually, this is the 3rd year. Yeah, but for me, graphic designing, I learned it back in 2020.
2020?
Yes, so I've been doing it for the last 5 years. Yes, and it has been an amazing journey, growing daily, learning more and more. Yeah, and I love it.
But ulikuwa unajua utajikuta kwa the world of graphics and design. Ukiwa mtoto kuna zile what do we call them? Kuna science na wonders uliona pale katikati.
When I was still young, sikuwa nayo in mind. But when I came in campus, that is when it came up. And I was fellowshipping at the Christian Union, I got on. So from there, nikaona venye wanaunda their designs. I'm still a first year. I see the way they do their designs, and I loved them. So I developed the interest of learning and knowing how to do designs and graphics. That is where my passion came from. And the journey began well. Nilitafuta mtu wa kunifunza,
Ukapata?
Sikupata.
Ukupata? What?
Sikupata.
And how did you learn? Hebu tuambie.
Okay, the guy I engaged aliniambia go wait after the tools and start designing. So from zero nikaenda online.
Online?
Yes, online. I did the research, I started designing, and then now from there ndo akaanza kuniambia now this is how it is done. And then from there, actually I still have the very first post I did. It is pathetic.
Okay, but unasikianga aje ukiangalia hiki tu nilifanya 2020 and you're like I don't love it,
na iangalianga na nasema ni growth. It is a matter of time. You give yourself time and you learn more and more, because it was pathetic. And actually wanaitumianga kwa classes zangu nikifunza now other people.
What unaitumia kwa classes?
I use it so much. Yes.
Well, I love that. And where did you back in 2020 umesema ulipata mwalimu mwalimu, haukupata mwalimu akukufunza. Ukaenda wapi? That is on social media.
Yeah.
Where did you get the inspiration? Where are you drawing this inspiration from?
The designs they were doing were very nice designs. So I could look at them and say, why can't I produce such a thing? Mbona nisitengeneza kitu inakaa hivi? So that is where the inspiration came from. I could see the designs and they were amazing. And from where I come from, back in the village, sijaiona vitu kama hizo. So I had that interest.
So you wanted something big.
Something big. So I did it. Nikaingia online, I did the research. Hata si kutumia YouTube, by the way. Actually today people use YouTube for learning.
Only tumia nini?
Just online, and then when I got the tools, nikazianzia hapo. The tools like Canva, Photoshop, you know, CorelDRAW.
Kwa hivyo mimi nikitaka tu nizo nitatumia.
Nizo. As long as you've given yourself to learning and knowing how it is done, definitely it won't take you a lot of time to know. Yeah. I
would really want to hear from you. You know, what is that one thing that hinders the young people from making that bold step? You know, kama wewe ulikosa mwalimu, but you're like, you know what, this is something that I want. I should make this step. Nini inazuia mavijana?
I think number one, it is resources. Vijana wengi hatuna resources to start off. But again, we don't have that to go kwa comfort zone. We don't want to get out of that comfort zone.
Gani hiyo sasa?
Ile you want to know something, but you don't want to, utaki kujituma. You don't want to make that step. You don't want to move.
Step, you know.
Utaki kujituma from one place to another, researching. Tunaishi in an era where social media is everything, and we are comfortable with that. We don't want
with what is on social media, you're comfortable.
We don't want to learn. We want to be entertained, but we don't want to learn. So your comfortability, comfort zone, we are there, and we don't want to get out of that. So that is one hindrance. And number two, as I've said earlier on, that hatuna resources as young people. Maybe mtu wana laptop or a machine to get started. A machine to get started off, maybe. I think those are the main challenges that young people have. Funds, you know, and all that.
Yeah, kwanza hapo kwa pesa, najua kuna watu wanasema yes, money.
Pesa.
And I would really want to know, what is that one thing before 2020 ulikuwa unajiambia kuhusu graphics and design, wait till uingie kwa industry ukajua mambo ni different?
Wow.
What is that one thing?
One thing I used to tell myself, first I thought it is just an easy journey.
Kufanya tu hivi tata.
2 seconds and you are done. Actually, there is a meme I saw and the person was saying, graphic designing is not a 5 minutes job. It is something that you should give time.
Is it true?
It is true. Because if, for instance, you need a design as a client and you've given me 10 minutes, it will be a bit tricky for me to do it in 10 minutes.
But and how do you do that? Basi ukipata wa clients wenye wako hivyo,
you talk to them first of all, because you must also have that good rapport with your clients.
Okay.
So you have to talk to them, and even some of them, like Minister James, he's a good client of mine, and we work together. But you have to understand your clients and also let them know that whatever you're doing is not a 5 minutes thing, but at least let them give you at least 30 minutes so for you to come up with a good design. So if you give me 5 minutes, I will still do the design, but it won't be that perfect, maybe as you intend as a client. So, but if you give me at least 30 minutes, then I will be good to give you a very nice design. Yeah, because
you mentioned, because
I also have to think. You know, we are creative thinkers as designers. Yeah. So you have to think. You have to come up with, collect the resources, then come up with a good design.
Okay, I believe that you're learning step by step. You've mentioned something to do with clients, right? I'd really want to know, how do you handle pressure when you kuna clients wengi sana? How do you handle that pressure? Now, what wanaleta pesa?
Wow.
Yeah.
So as I've told you earlier on, you have to create that good rapport with your clients. And so number one thing for me, what I do, if I have like 5 clients, they want designs in a given timeline. First of all, I do the first come first serve. So I don't look at the money, because the last client can have maybe a higher amount of money. Yeah. But I don't look at that, because I look at the priority. If you came first, I will serve you first. And then number 2, after that, I also have a team of other people that I can delegate to.
Yeah, so you have a team.
I have a team. People whom I've also trained, so they know my taste.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
So if you know my taste and if you know the company's taste, then we'll do as per what they need or as per what they do. So I have people I can delegate to. But in most cases, I'm also very fast when it comes to designing. So I don't need 6 hours. I don't need 10 hours. And I only need 30 minutes and I'm done with a good poster. Yes.
As a young person, how does it feel like, you know, you have people that you have employed? How does it feel?
It is a nice thing. It is a nice thing as a young person to be an employer. And I thank God for that. Actually, hiyo ni ya God.
Back in 2020, ulishai think that utafika hapa and you have people that you have employed?
Oh, I've never thought of this. And I know right now I'm thinking even bigger.
Oh,
I know
that.
there is a place I want to go as a, let me call myself as a CEO.
Oh my goodness,
Yes.
you know, from your mouth to God's ears.
Exactly. Yeah, actually in town, a number of people knows me as a CEO for Former Studios.
Wow.
And I thank God for that. So there is a vision you carry as a person. And up to this far, I can say that having people that I can tell do this, do that, it is a nice thing and I feel very nice. Yeah.
As a young CEO, please tell us, you know, how do you make sure that the people that you have employed, the right people who understand the vision of your brand itself?
Yes. The good thing that I've always done, and I feel it is good as per me and as per my vision, is if I meet a person with potential, I take them and train them as to how I want. Because in that way, unajua ni kama una customize mtu akwe what you really want. So if you train them, so I don't do final product people who are already trained and they already have skills.
So you pick people that you feel akona potential
and he can be mentored na anakuwa mtu mzuri, a good designer, and they liaise with what I have as a vision.
Hata mimi naweza kuwa mwanafunzi.
Exactly, you're very much welcome. We have from a studio school of computer that it is training young people in mostly in IT things, in designing things, and in editing field. Yeah.
What is that able to be sasa, you know, sijui sasa ni kuite a young CEO. What is that common challenge, you know, when it comes to handling clients wako? You know, are not really clients, that is the people that you've employed.
The people I've employed, one thing is that at some point they will give you what you really don't want. Yeah, because there is that process. So unaweza mdelegatea maybe something to do, but then they will not deliver as you really want. But again, there is how you still talk, you still engage them, because we all grow day by day.
We all grow day by day. You know, let's go for a short break. This is MeetYourArtist, but we're still getting to learn and to hear who is this young CEO that is Fouleen. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. And welcome back. This is MYA, MeetYourArtist. You know, today we're kufanya things a bit differently, that is in the world of art. But leo tunaangazia mambo ya graphics and design. We have our amazing guest, that is Get to Handle, that is you are the people that you have employed.
Yes.
And you are telling us something.
Yes. So I was telling you about how you deal with your employees, and also as a leader of an organization, there is how you should engage with the employees so that they give you what you really want, so that the whole company can be productive. Yes.
Na sasa huyo mmoja akikukasirisha, you know, okay, do you employ people when you're above your age, ama unataka wale watu wenye wako chini ya miaka yako, so that you won't feel like I'm too small, you know?
Okay, in most cases, the people I'm working with, they are my peers. They are my peers and they are good friends.
Right,
so,
that is interesting, you know.
So, you know, talking or dealing with a good friend is different from dealing with just an outsider. So, and that's why I told you we train them, you know, we show them the way, then from there now we get started. Yeah, so I don't have that hard time of handling them. They are also understanding, they also know me, and they get to do what we are here for. Yes.
And you told me before tulikuwa tumeingia show that you usually do these graphics and both for ministry and for money itself. How do you strike a balance itself?
Wow. So as at now, as much as we are doing graphic design, it is not a full-time. Maybe we are not depending on it full time, maybe to pay our bills and everything, and that is why we can balance between now as a job and also as a ministry. So as a ministry, I do it like it is my service to God.
Wow.
Just the same way any other person in the church can serve, where maybe in a church, maybe for online things pertaining ministry, I can do it and just without paying, without maybe requesting for payments for it. So it is like my service to God, and it's a Thanksgiving service to God.
And how do you make sure that akili yako haijabebwa na pets wanze kuambia watu wa kanisa nitaka kila month mtakuwa mnanipatia 30k? Otherwise kama wanipatia 30k I'm not doing this work. How do you make sure that your mentality ijakuwa swayed away na pesa sana?
First, when I was beginning this journey, it was you know, sinikwambia kuna venye niliambiwa niende nijitafutie and everything. So I had that burden of, if God, I get to know this thing, then it can be also be used as a service to you.
I know.
So you know, there is that commitment you make with God when you are working with God in that journey. So it was in the beginning, it was a first commitment to God that help me know this, and then it will be like a payback to you when I'm done.
Wow.
And so when it comes to, and mostly by the way, when it is for church people, you know, my friends from church and church itself, I don't demand any payments.
Yo guys,
yes, because it is my service to God. But now when it comes to adverts, you know, that those things you do for adverts, logos outside ministry, those ones at least I charge for those ones. Yes.
Well, I love that. Unajua swing wanaambia Mungu ati you know saja leo mimi niomoke kesho nitakurudishia. They forget akishaomoka. Actually they forget what the conversation that they had before succeeding.
Yes.
You know?
And by the way, kama to our viewer, if you have a commitment with God, just ensure that you fulfill that commitment. If it is a promise, God akisha kufikisha that place where you wanted to be, ensure you fulfill what you promised God. Yes, it will be a good thing.
Wow, I love your mentality.
Yeah.
And now, wacha tuangalie, that is when it comes to your brand. I believe their colors. Ama kuna client mwenye atakuja kwambie ninataka poster ya hoteli, ya meals za hoteli. Can you tell us the relationship between posters, the psychology of color and posters?
Yes. Actually, in graphic designing, it is a whole course. For me, I do it for
when it comes to colors.
Not color specifically, I'm getting there, but the whole course, it is around 3 months. For me, I do it for 3 months, then we are done. But in that period of 3 months, we look at elements like colors, because colors is an element in graphic designing. And so when it comes to colors, we go with number one, as a client, if you come to us, this is your brand, this is what you do, we will look at the kind of colors that are in line with that. But again, if you come with your own colors, then we will use your colors. So if it is a brand that is well established, it already has its own colors, we will go by those colors. But again, if you want us to advise on the colors you want, we will. Because kuna organizations, let's say, is a catering. You can't use shouting colors kama yellow.
For real?
You'll have to look at the colors, maybe brown, maybe, you know. And then also in designing, we have the primary colors, the secondary colors. So we merge those colors, we put them together just to come up with a nice design. A design like for fashions and things, maybe for clothing and fashions and stuff, there are colors we will use. When it comes to, you know, there are different organizations that they go with their colors.
Yeah.
So if you have the colors, we will use your colors. But again, if you don't have the colors and you want us to advise you accordingly, we will. So wale watu sema wanaume tunakuanga colorblind. In designing, you have to know colors.
Is that true? You know.
Hata kama unakuanga colorblind, in designing you'll have to learn and know. You have to adjust according to that field. You just adjust. Yes.
And now let's talk about in your brand. How do you handle competition? Because kuna watu wengi sana wanafanya mambo ya graphics and design. How do you handle competition, making sure that hata kama kuna competition, my brand still remains to stand out.
To stand out.
Yes.
Number one, when you look at our motto, it says that excellence is ours. And so when I talk about excellence, I ensure that what I do is excellent. I just ensure that kitu nimepeana, my client is satisfied with it. So today, if I do a poster maybe for you, you will give me the feedback. And when you are satisfied, you will come back for another design. And number two, you will refer me to someone else. So I just ensure that what I've done is excellent. That is how, number one, I conquer the competition with maybe other developers and designers. If you do something legit, people will come for you. That is number one. Number two, I'm also considerate when it comes to charging. I don't do it because other people are doing it. For instance, a normal logo, a simple normal logo, in the market of Kenya, when it comes to designing, it is around 3,500 to 5,000, around there. But for me, we will talk, we will engage. You let me know maybe your scope, if it is, you let me know, and then from there we can engage. And also, I go by, we rise by rising others. So if your brand is still also developing and coming up, we will still engage. So I don't go by what is there. I go by what we need to be and how we are at the moment. Yes. So whether price in a range from 5,000 to 10,000, but for me we will engage and tutaelewana, we can't hatutakosana.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When it comes to pricing, let's talk about the logos, the posters. What are the things that hunaangalia so that ujue hii nitacharge 500, itacharge 5k?
Number one, it is the complexity of the design. There are some designs that are very simple. Mtu anataka tu a writing and a simple letter. That one, it's a simple poster or a simple logo. So it depends with the complexity of the design. And number two, also the time that is needed. So for instance, if you need a poster in less than, let's say, 20 minutes, you see, for that I will have to, engage more, rush, do the necessary, so that I come up with that design in that time frame. So number one, it depends with the complexity of the design. Number two, the time frame you've given me. And number three, I think now that one is where we can now engage. Kuna mtu amefinyiliwa kimfuko but anataka that design. You can't send them away. You'll do the design, and then maybe that person can refer you to another person, where now you will get back what you are to get from the person. You get? Yeah. So kuna mtu atakuletea referrals. For them, kuna wengine hata akileta referral kubwa, I even don't judge them because they have brought me a good and a higher referral. Yes.
And what is your brand known for? What is that one unique thing about your brand yenye ikitajwa pale tau kila mtu atasema tu ni brand yako?
Excellence.
Excellence in everything that you do.
Excellence. Yes. That is the unique thing that we have. We are committed to do excellent work. So excellence is ours. We are committed to that. That is one thing that everybody will know me by. And then number two is reliability. I'm very reliable.
Very reliable.
Very,
okay, people should try out.
Very reliable. And by the for me, I'm not married, so you can get me 24 hours. Actually, we are 24 hours open. Even design ukitisha hata saa 6 usiku, we will do it, utaipata. So we are very reliable. And in case of inconveniences, we do communicate. Yeah, we communicate with our clients that there is this inconvenient, that we cannot handle your issue. But if we can, we are very reliable, we are timely, and I think those are things that make us outstanding, that have helped us this far. Yes.
And let's talk about Apple mambo ya customer, handling your customers.
Yes.
How do you handle the feedbacks that clients wako? Tell me, for example, when we were taking a post and I'm like, I really don't like this poster. How do you handle that?
Well, for the last, actually I've been so active for the last 3 years, as much as I learned it 5 years ago. When it comes to clients, so far so good, I can say I haven't received any negative feedback. Genuinely speaking, I have not received any negative feedback, but the only challenge I face, it is that some clients, especially the online clients, wanaingia mitini na whatever they were to maybe pay you. Yeah, that is one challenge that I faced so much, but I haven't faced that challenge of the designs are not okay, they are not good. No, I haven't faced that. Yes.
Well, I believe that people are learning sana ikifika hapo kwa mambo ya graphics and design. Na tukianza mnajua tuliambiwa number 1, jitume sana. Pale social media ikapo, you know, they can learn through social media, right? You know, they get the resources and then they get to start. Thank you so much for availing yourself to the show. I believe that the young people have learned a lot and a lot and a lot. You know, the last thing I'd really want to hear from you as we get to wind up, we have 1 minute. What is that one brand that you really mention the brands that you would want to collaborate or partner with?
Number 1 brand, or rather an organization that I would really love to work with is Mizpah.
Oh, really? Produce when you go
Sure, I would really love to work with them. And then the second one is called Focus Kenya. Those two, they are very nice brands, and I really admire their products.
Tell me, why say you want to you know, partner with those 2 brands? Why? Number
1 is for also growth. We are also growing. Always jua kila kitu in a day. So we are also growing. So another reason we really want to partner with those 2 is for growth, number 1, and number 2 just for business partnership, and it can be so good.
No, I love that. What is that one thing that you have learned in the one thing that it has been transformative? You feel like, you know what, this is what I've been sticking out all along from 2020.
Giving up has not been an option for me. There are moments you'll be pushed to an edge of giving up.
Yeah, I know.
But for me, I always say that I will never give up. You see, like for the case of mtu umemfanyia kazi na
I know.
you can feel like, you know, you have
from 9 a.m. a time of